Hey, this is 2026, and I'm going to look at today the 3 language apps I'm using. It's been a horrible day. I was going to do like a polished video with my better camera, and instead I'm just using my MacBook camera because I don't care, and it's been a horrible day. Let's just get to it. I can even see the spot where I was trying to get a microphone to work, but the thing's broken. Horrible day. Everything's going wrong. But it doesn't matter. We're going to look at language apps. 3 I'm using. So I'm using 3 right now in 3 different ways, and I kind of want to share how you may want to use them. I've talked a lot about language on my channel. You know, I'm trying not to make this video like optimized for the algorithm. I'm just going to give you good information, hopefully, that you can use. I don't claim to be a polyglot, but I have learned to read in at least 4 other languages pretty good. Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese. Sometimes I even use my languages to speak. I've been working on Thai a lot, and I've dabbled with many, many other languages in different ways. Some I start and stop for a while and come back to, but some I'm very consistent with, and I've definitely improved. And I think in the last few months with Thai, I've improved quite a bit because I was in Thailand a month ago and speaking it in a way that I couldn't the time before that. And I'd done some things that allowed me to really, I think, jump up my next level stuff. So you may be like, hey, I want to learn a language, but they don't have an app for my language. It's very minor. Or, you know, I've been learning a language for a long time and the apps they're not good enough. I need beyond the app. I need intermediate, advanced level stuff. What do I do? I've got some tips for you at the end of this, so stick around. Okay, maybe I am optimizing it for the algorithm. I don't care. But anyways, let's just look at these first 3 apps that I use pretty regularly and that I still enjoy. I've talked about some of them before, but one of them is totally new. I just found it about 3 months ago, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of rare because it's aimed at intermediate and advanced users, which I liked. So stick around for that. So first app that I'm going to mention, I've mentioned it before, is Mondly. And this is not a perfect app by any means. I think, though, it is great for starting a language. If you've never studied languages before, or if you've tried to study a language and it's really, you feel the level of resistance. I think that's something you always need to keep in mind with language learning is how much resistance are you feeling and how much do you enjoy the method that you're using, whatever method it is. Because if you're feeling a lot of resistance or if you're just not liking the method, it's going to be horrible. And it's like, what's the point of that? It shouldn't be like that. And I think for some languages like Chinese or Korean, I feel a lot of resistance. So I kind of like Mondly for this because at the very least, like with Korean, here's my example, because I'm not studying Korean largely right now. I'm just doing it. In the past, I tried it a little and then I kind of leaned off, but I am every day doing just a 2-minute lesson on Mondly for Korean.
당신은 잡니다. 당신은 너무 많이 잠을 잡니다.
Which is not going to teach me the language by any means, but it's kind of breaking down. I know that it's like doing something every day by spreading it out in time. And when I do go back and try and study it more intensely, I know it's going to be easier because it's slowly, I can feel myself improving. It's microdosing, if you want to call it that, for language learning. But it's, you know, with Mondly, you're not going to get beyond like A2 at best. It's really aimed at beginners and lower intermediate. And there's very little slang. All the courses have the exact same material, but there's not a lot of difficulty to it. There's no point where I get like, oh my God, I'm so frustrated with this. Because it's basically, even if you get it wrong, it lets you keep going. It's like not like other apps where it's like, oh, you missed it? Well, I'll bring it back in a few minutes. It's like, you missed it? It's like, who cares? Keep going. And so I think, if you've never studied a language or if you think language learning is super difficult, it even allows you to use romanization. I don't recommend doing that for too long, but you know, if you want to, you can. I think learning the writing system is important, and you can do that with YouTube videos or elsewhere. So a good way to start a language. The only thing, for whatever reason, some languages I've tried, like Japanese, they don't have like a just a drag and drop method with the words. I don't like that. I don't know why it's not perfect by any means. And there's only like 30 languages that they offer. So a lot of hedging, but I still think, for the languages that I use it for and like I'm using it for Vietnamese and I like it for that. It's very good for that. I'm using Duolingo for Vietnamese as well, but I find so much less resistance when I do it on Mondly. So anyways, onward to the next app, which is Duolingo, which I've been using for a long, long time and for different languages. I've completed, like I did some courses like French and Spanish. I did the entire course.
Mais de 4.000.
I don't turn it all to gold or whatever, and I don't do the reviews. I just basically go through the main material and then I jump off into other things. Because I think, it's good for what it is, but it's not. Supposedly, they're going to be adding a lot more material for their main, most popular languages, which I think, I want to say are Spanish, French, Italian, German, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, German, maybe, I don't know, something like that. They mentioned that, and I'm excited to see them add more material. I'm almost done with the German course, which has helped a lot, and I enjoyed it a lot. I feel like I can do about 5 lessons of German on there a day, and it feels like it's not super frustrating. So I still enjoy it. But other languages like Japanese, I cannot do 5 lessons. That would kill me. I do 1 lesson and that's it. And I do a little of the writing. They do have a writing system teaching for those languages, which I like, and wide variety of languages. Still don't have some languages though, like Thai, which is, there's like 66 million Thai speakers. They don't have Thai, but they do have I don't know, Hebrew, which has less than 10 million speakers. I'm not knocking Hebrew. I'm sure it's a great language that I'd like to learn someday, but I wish they had Thai. Anyways, I also do have the paid version. I don't know the free version, how bad it is nowadays, but I don't use the free version because I think it's kind of bad. Use a VPN, though. You can get a cheaper price. Anyways, final app I'm going to mention, Clozemaster. This is the one I just found a few months ago. And this one has a huge number of languages because a lot of it is just, I'm pretty sure they use just AI to generate a lot of the material, but a lot of the material is pretty good.
Kamu punya ingatan yang luar biasa.
Kamu sampai di sini lebih awal.
Some of the languages are more developed than others. Like some of them, like Spanish, they'll have like the graded levels, like 10 different graded levels. By the way, the format is basically a cloze, which is, I didn't know this term, but it's basically like fill in the blank of the term and multiple choice. So pretty straightforward, nothing too revolutionary, but I like it. And I found right away, like when I started, the first thing I used on this was Thai, and I found right away it was pretty good level. Like it felt like intermediate level, not beginner at all, which I liked, and which is what I need for Thai. So I used the free version. I haven't paid for this, and the free version lets you use about 30 sentences a day of each language. So you can use as many languages as you want, and 30 sentences each. So that's about right. I feel like I don't want to do too much more. Actually, next time I go to Thailand, maybe I'll do the 7-day trial and just max out what I can and then cut it off because I refuse to pay for it. But I do like that they let you use as many languages as you want. Some languages I tried, like Latin, and I did not find it very good. I felt like the texts are very wonky. There's no audio. But other languages like French, Spanish, the more common languages that people learn are pretty good. And it's check it out. It's, like I said, it's free for the 30 sentences version. So anything else I want to say? Oh, there also seems to be like sections on slang and like kind of little grammar challenges focusing on specific issues with different languages. So there's a lot of material, but as I was I'm kind of transitioning into some other things that you can do as opposed to just these apps. So as I was kind of looking at Clozemaster, and I was learning to program, well, kind of learning Python last year, but I was kind of also getting burnt out on programming and not really enjoying it. So, but I did like kind of hear about vibe coding, where you use AI and AI software to make software using, rather than coding it all yourself, you basically get AI to do it. So I'm like, hey, this Clozemaster is kind of neat, but I wonder if I could, vibe code my own version of this that doesn't have any limits. And I couldn't with Thai because there's the challenge with Thai is that they don't separate the words in sentences. So it was kind of difficult to create a close. But I did create this other program that is not a close, but it's just like basically multiple choice. What's the translation? And I added audio. I added some like little tweaks and things that maybe I'll do another video about it sometime in the future. But I found this other site, Tataweba, that lets you download like thousands of sentences. And I basically just, I had AI. Yeah, I'm sure you can find videos, but basically you're kind of describing to AI what you want to create, and then you kind of keep tweaking it and testing it. It was a little work, but it was kind of fun. I learned some things, and yeah. So, anyways, that's what I was going to say. Is one of the things that I did that I think has helped a lot, because lets you make the program exactly what you want to make, and yeah, it's helped me enormously with my Thai reading. I'll often listen to it before I read it, and then I'll read it, and then I'll look at the answers before I try to break it down the steps to make it as difficult as possible and as natural as possible. And that's one of the things that I've done that has hugely helped. Like I can't even, and I'm gonna probably make more programs that are with more. I think there's open subtitles has a lot of sentences. You can take Wikipedia articles, you can take newspaper articles or whatever. You can really tailor it to what it is you're focused on working on, whether it's reading, listening, creating sentences, or you can just use AI itself to create tests and quiz and closes and the type of program that you want. The only thing is, right now, a lot of AI doesn't have audio. Although I think I have seen actually some that are including more audio. So you could probably incorporate that even using ChatGPT, Gemini, Open, Copilot, and whatever else you want to use that's out there. Aside from that, another kind of big thing that I've been doing a lot this year is, I'd already used YouTube a lot for audio, and I built a program to download audio, to rip audio from video playlists and specify which videos to download. But I've also been using Netflix a lot, and I'm sure a lot of other streaming services have a lot of subtitles and dubbing. But right now, like I'm using it different ways. Like with the good thing is, like, you can take a program like a show in Spanish on Netflix and watch it in Spanish audio with Spanish subtitles that'll match. The problem is that if you watch a show that's dubbed, like if I watch a show that's dubbed in Thai and then I turn on the Thai subtitles, a lot of times they won't be exact because they're using kind of two different sources and two different goals. With dubbing, they kind of want it to synchronize with the speaking of the lips, and with the subtitles, they want it to be a little more accurate. So sometimes it's not 100%, and it can be just a little distracting rather than helpful. But usually with the original like language material and the subtitles, it'll match, and that's helpful. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll watch a show dubbed or in another language, and then I'll have the subtitles not in that language, not in English either, but in one of my better languages like Spanish or French. And so I'll get the meaning, and either way, even if I'm not like finishing and getting all the Thai audio from the audio alone, I will be getting, it's kind of making your brain work in overtime. But I do like that. And, I can usually read faster than the audio. So I know what the meaning is, and I'm kind of listening for the words that I know and what to expect. Aside from that, So those are the two that I do a lot, is make my own programs. And aside from the Thai program, I also made an Indonesian program that's really good and seems to have, it has like 26,000 sentences. So that'll keep me busy for a long time. Other things I do, I read a lot in the languages. I've mentioned this before that I think the easiest, best ways to start reading are comics. If you want a ton of comics, you can find Anna's Archive, Library Genesis, Z Library are probably the ones I use the most. I'll link to the Wikipedia articles because the links tend to change as the sites get taken down by law enforcement and they get redirected to new, more obscure countries. So anyways, yeah, I recommend comics a lot. There's a ton of comics in a lot of languages, especially French, Spanish, Italian, German, Dutch, Japanese, of course, tons and tons of comics, and so on. Some languages like Vietnamese, you're not going to find as many comics, unfortunately. I was curious about that. Like, why doesn't Vietnam have a big comics industry or movie industry? And basically, the answer that it came up with was poverty and war. So I think that'll change. And with social media, that's going to be the way a lot of countries that don't have these industries, established comic and movie industries and film industries, are going to come up through more social media and web comics, things like that. So, but if you do want to read comics, I think is a great way to start reading a language, because there's the visual cues and it allows you to read at your own rate, as opposed to movies and TV, which don't. I also think nonfiction is pretty good, and I've recommended Wikipedia a lot for reading because there's so many languages available, and you can really just read what interests you and things that you're actually curious about. Aside from that, I've mentioned using AI and so on. I recommend avoiding fiction and poetry until you get more advanced. It tends to be more difficult and have more thorny language. Also, like watching things that you already know. For example, I mentioned you can watch things dubbed, but I've just been watching Shakespeare. I watched The Merchant of Venice recently in Spanish, which the language is difficult, but it was fun. And aside from those, what else can I recommend that I think I'm liking a lot? That's about it. Those are the key ones. Yeah. Using video and audio. I'm going to keep doing videos about language, and I plan to do a lot of James Joyce videos this year now that I'm nearing the end of reading his letters. So I will return to that. If you like languages, you got to get into James Joyce. He was a language lover. He was really good at Latin, Italian, French, Norwegian, German, and a bunch of other languages he dabbled with. So I think if you like languages, check out my channel and my playlist on James Joyce, and I'll have more videos coming soon on languages. And I'm going to look at more movies and TV shows that I'm watching in different languages. So if you like that, I'll give you some recommendations. Otherwise, that's all I have to say in this video, and hope to see you in future videos. Bye.